Hello everyone, welcome to the last video on the tutorial section for our Mythical robot product. We are talking about the options panel. Now this won't be there in the normal version, it's for pro version, and as we saw in the demo version, it will only work on one market. We talked about sections of it like the maximum position per market and your spread limit. Well, lot size is self-explanatory. It's the amount of lots you can put in a single market. And why are you not working? Oh, you're not there. So let's do it this way. Okay? So the lot size position, the lot size section is where you define the amount of lots per position for this market. Now, the equity lock is not being implemented. The break-even and trailing stop is not implemented yet. It will come in the next updates, but I will talk about what is the concept. Equity lock means that if your equity gets above your balance in some number, it will close your positions, make your whole thing flatten. Now it's not per market, it's in total. So for example, I may say if I passed my balance by $10, immediately flat the market for me. The chances are rare for something like this happen in this spot, but we will implement it just in case. The next one is break even. Though on the first three columns, that doesn't make much of sense. But in this case, when you go for the third take profit targets, or even on the second take profit targets, it can save your profit before the market moves against you when your take profits are not hit. So the concept behind break even is that when the market goes above your position and you are gaining some, you will put a stop loss above your entry. Okay? So that if the market crashes down and hits the stop, not only you lose anything, but you gain a small cent or 2 cents. So you're scratched, but with a very small amount without losing anything. On the other hand, the trailing stop is what some people call it trailing profit. Let's say that you entered in here and your take profit target is here. Now the market price is here. You are gaining. You put a stop, you start from somewhere, put a stop level. Now this is not a break-even, it's bigger than break-even. And as market moves up, you constantly move this stop level higher, 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 so that if market goes down before hitting your target, you get the most out of this move as much as possible. Setting your trailing stop and break even needs a bit of experience and understanding of the market. The next section is your spread limit. Well, it's completely obvious. The market that is always, I don't know, 14 points spread between bid and ask. At some hours may rise this gap, and we don't want to trade here. Because our buy orders normally would be here and our take profit may be here. But at the same time where the spread is opened, our start will be here when we wanted to have take profit, and our take profit will be here. Normally the wide spreads happen when the markets are off time. New York time is off and Japan is not open. Or on non-JPY markets when the London market is not open yet. So we put a stop, we put a maximum spread acceptable for the bot. For this condition, Aussie dollar CAD, you see that the spread most of the time is 16. So we give a little bit of leeway, and that's it. Okay, the next one, two things work hand in hand with each other. The bottom one is the maximum positions allowed per market by the bot. But sometimes you make the decision to add more positions on some markets manually. So we accept total of 150 positions in all the markets in total. For example, you may have, I don't know, 50 in here, 50 in here, that's 100, but you make 25 in these two, 25, 25, so that's 150. The moment we hit 150, even though some of these markets has still place to have more positions, it won't happen. The robot won't do that. It's part of your money management. You don't want to go beyond some special amount of margin. The last two rows is about your signaling sections, and we talked about it in the first video. You can accept the filter signals, no signals, and base signals, or signals. You can ignore the trend, the OBV phase, OBV direction, and the prediction of neural networks as filters, or you can turn any one of them off. Why? Well, let's say that sometimes after you followed the market for a long time, you understand that, hey, this one single bar that my mouse is on it won't be in the same deal with the rest, but you know, the signals are almost all the time good. So the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, fourth is ratio. You may want to ignore that. Just for this market. It needs time for you to follow and pay a very dedicated attention to these lights per market to manipulate it. I highly suggest against it if you are not familiar with your bot for a long time. But after, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months of using it, you may find that, yeah, ratio is neglecting a cell, although the filters are not agreeing, but hey, GBP CHF, a cell signal here is a very good signal. So you may take a note at this. Okay, the ratio of flow, and for the filters, these 3 filters off, trend filter even off, the ratio off. With no filters means that you are accepting the base, and for the base you are not accepting the ratio on that single market. So take a note of that. Put these notes together, and after 6 months you may start manipulating these lights to turn off some of them and some filters off. The base system is the safest system that we came up with. Or for some market you may decide that, you know, breakout signals in this market will most likely become a problematic. It always gives me headache. So for that single market you want to turn off the BO, breakout, or the counter trend, or candlesticks, I don't know, whatever. It falls upon you to make these sort of decisions. Okay? So these are that. So LD is a leading momentum. The very first light. By the way, their order is the order you see here. LD means leading momentum. MO means our momentum, but it's not leading. IM for impulse, RA for ratio, MA for market sentiment, FL for volume flow, and PR for price action. Here, S means filtered signal, B means base, N means none, T is trend, OP means OBV phase, OD means OBV direction, and P means prediction of neural network. BO is breakout, CT is counter trend, and C is candlesticks. Self-explanatory. Of course, leading momentum, forget about telling me the formula. Just know that it's a custom-made formula on a momentum on the price that is real leading. Refer to our websites and posts so that you understand why I'm telling you that stuff like MACD is not really leading. This momentum is not leading but accurate at the chart. The impulse decides if this candle has impulsive move compared to the previous candles. Ratio is the difference of price between this candle and the previous ones. Of course, I'm not telling you any details about that. Market sentiment, well, if you don't know what market sentiment is, just search it. Market sentiment. And just by looking at the pictures, if I find something, it's something like this. It goes between powerful sell to powerful buy, some sell, some buy, or neutral zone. Okay? So between 40 and 60, they suggest not do anything. Below, above 60, I think it's buy, and below 60 is sell. Okay? So that's something called market sentiment. Well, we convert it into a light. When you have a green light, it's above 60. When you have a red light, it's below 60. Formulas, there are different formulas for this. Look into the web. Volume flow, well, it's not your normal volume flow oscillator. Drop it into the garbage can. We have our own dedicated formula, completely original, to handle this, and we are trying to understand which direction the flow of the money is going. Is it on the sell side, or is it on the buy side, or we can't predict it. And the price action, as I said, it's few different factors, not the candlesticks, but few different factors that we take into account to see if we can have a price action prediction of the market for buy or sell or none. We talked about the breakout and counter trend and candlesticks in another video early on, so I'm not talking about them here. Okay, at the end, I highly recommend you, and I really need to adjust these two numbers. I highly recommend you to go back to our website, take a look at everything. We are talking a little bit about our team, some statistics, and as I said, these two numbers need to change. Especially the blog section is something that you will constantly check. When we finish final releases on the normal product, we will give a 2 or 3 weeks gap between we put the update versions. That would be our real final. But in this gap and after the final version, we continuously write. Well, up until now, I'm the writer most of the time because I have the more time and I'm the core member of the team. I know about artificial intelligence, neural networks, machine learning, and even game programming. I also know math. I'm not on the same level as Noelia, but I'm good. And I'm a professional trader and mentor on technical analysis. So I can call myself a core member on that team. So they asked me to handle the writings for the time being, and I have free time, so yeah, I'm writing these articles. Some of them may look irrelevant to the bot. For example, learn to lose. In this article, I'm talking about the stuff we learn as technical analysis students that are meant to make us losers and not winners. Yes, our mentors sometimes teach us some things that meant to make us a loser and not a winner. We will talk about these concepts, and as things go forward, we will move toward more advanced stuff like, predicting the markets, neural networks, machine learning. There are tons of things that we can talk about because all of them are part of R&D we had done during 3 years to get where we are now. So by reading them, not only you will understand the bot better, the fundamental things behind the scene, but also they give you some insight so that if at any time you decide to make your own stuff, you will have easier time and don't fall in the pitfalls that we fell. So I highly recommend you to follow that. Also, as human beings, we are responsible of, following human conditions. So we put a page for COVID-19, coronavirus. The information is coming from Johns Hopkins, and it's honestly, Johns Hopkins is the best university for medical information. And as you see, it has its own gadget. We just implemented the gadget in the page. So right now you can see that total number of confirmed cases is way beyond 6 million. God damn it. It was less than 3 million a month ago. So yeah, it was near 2 million. So you can guess the progress. And of course, it's giving us the information about different countries, confirmed, global deaths, and I think somewhere it's recoveries here. And if you're a resident of US country, there is more dedicated information for the US, Well, that's for it. Later, we will have a contact us page very soon as I uploaded these videos and we finished publishing the last product that will be our normal version. In this contact form here, you will be able to fill out the form and ask for support, or if you have any suggestions. I highly encourage you to give us suggestions for anything that can make this robot more professional and helpful, or maybe a very powerful strategy that can be written by code and you wish to see it in the bot. We are highly open into these sort of suggestions. And at the very last, if you have some things to say about our bot, good or bad, we are hearing it, and we may put a sentiment section in the first page and put your words out there so others can hear you. Anyway, at the end, this robot / dashboard was the result of 3 years of research. Actually, the 3 years passed all by itself for the bot section. At the end, we claim that we have 98 accuracy of signals only if you can help us with these two. If you use this section for dictating the directions, the accuracy drops to about 70 to 80%. But if you can manage just the trend lines, the support and resistance concept, the accuracy of signals is above 95 to 98%. The amount of gain when you start by 5,000 will be between 20 to 40, even 50% per month. And we are not joking there. Remember, we did develop this robot for ourselves before anyone else. Now, why do we sell it? I was personally against selling it, but some of our members pushed toward publishing it, telling that you won't lose anything. And they are right. Forex market is so deep that even if hundreds of people using this bot won't put a dent in the chart, honestly. So why not? And at the same time, yes, we will earn some money by selling it. Each $1,000 that you give us, we'll separate it into 5 for our members. And $200 for me will go directly to my balance to help the bot increase more money for me. So money makes money for me here. So you will gain a powerful tool that is a result of 3 years of R&D, a very deep R&D that if you read the articles, you will understand how deep it goes. We had nights that we didn't sleep. We had nights, as trader, I had nights that it was stressful for me. I was asleep, then suddenly woke up by stress. Had to look at my mobile phone to make sure that my position were okay. We lost big monies, we won big monies. So as trader, I personally don't want you to experience lots of those pitfalls. And as I said, hundreds of people using this bot won't put a dent in the market. So why not? Let's use it. It's a win-win situation. You give me money, the money you give me will help me make more money. That's my win. And your win is gaining a very, very, very powerful system that is not only giving you signals for your trades if you want to do it manually, but at the same time is a very powerful robot and a very powerful money management, position management dashboard. So a win-win situation is always what I love and won't hesitate doing it. Anything else to mention is the limitations of the normal version. In normal version, even if it's final, you won't have any of this. You won't have this or that. Only, I made the decision, the position count, max position count, spread limit, and lots. In the normal version, you won't see any of these heat maps update. You won't have this column. And you won't have any of these buttons on top. Anything else that I remember properly? You will have only and only per column target hit. You won't have per market. That's a pro version. And what else? Let me think. You can't use the base signals. You will be limited to the final filtered signals. You can't all turn on or off any of these factors. And that would be it actually, I think, if I remember. Yep, that would be it. Those are the limitations on the normal version. The pro version is $1,000, normal version is $650. So you, for just losing the heat map and not being able to set your profit per market and not having an indicator for the direction and not being able to have a base signal, you will lose, you will pay less money. But if you want all these features, I highly encourage you, if you can pay, go for these features because they are a lot. And I may even drop these candlesticks. Yeah, I think I will drop the candlesticks in the normal version. I'm not deciding personally. We have a note. I think candlesticks were for pro only again. Yep. So these features are pro only, and you will pay $350 more, but you gain a lot from that. Because honestly, if you can guide your system manually, I highly encourage you to go to base signals and ignore filters. completely. I highly encourage you, if you can put the time and you are sure that your guide for the bot is okay, then there is no way, no reason for, predicting the trend or other stuff. And just by going for the base signals, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and no filtered. So you effectively rising your gain a lot by going into the base signal system. Do it when you are sure that you are guiding the bot properly. And it's a pro version only. This by itself alone, I'm telling you, this by itself alone worth that $350. Because the base signals are around 100 to 150 signals per day. But when you filter them out, you will drop to something like 30 to 40 signals. So just by turning back to your base signal and guiding the bot yourself, you're multiplying your gain by 4. That's not a small task. Yep, that is all I wanted to say. And I really look forward for your feedback, being it a positive or a negative. I'm open for all of them. I really look forward to your suggestions for making this tool better. And please don't ask for LSTM networks. The computation power it uses for 28 markets will make it slow enough to not being able to have fast reactions in the market. Have fun, everyone. Bye-bye.